So for this Wednesday's assignment, you asked us to find the meaning of three terms and give an example of each. These three terms are all different types of noise: psychological, physiological, and semantic. Noise is anything that interferes with the message that you are trying to send. So the first one of these terms is psychological noise. Psychological noise is any sort of mental interference that inhibits you from being able to be a good listener and to communicate back accurately. So this is talking about any sort of noise in your head. If your mind is wandering, you're preoccupied with anything, whatever is mentally blocking you from basically paying attention. The next term is physiological noise. The definition that I found for physiological noise is not very good. It said simply that it was any physiological issue that interferes with your ability to communicate, which I think we can all get. So I looked up the word physiological, and I found that it meant anything that's referring to our bodies. So physiological noise is something that is going on in our body, and it's affecting how well we can communicate. If I had a migraine, or I couldn't stop sneezing due to my allergies or a hearing problem, or even if I'm hungry, that's considered physiological noise. This type of noise is distinctly different because it's the one type out of the three that is either inside the sender or the receiver, and it's caused by our own bodies. But this doesn't necessarily mean that we can control it. Obviously, no one wants a migraine. The last term is semantic noise. When there is semantic noise, it quite simply means that we just don't understand. The definition said that there's no shared meaning in communication, and this is a really simple way to say this, because either the person sending the message made the vocabulary so complicated that we can't understand, or we could just be unfamiliar. In the examples that I found, it said that they basically, if there's any semantic noise, you are talking to someone who's super smart, like a doctor or a lawyer, or just someone that isn't really on your level, as far as, brain function. However, semantic noise is also talking about one of the biggest barriers in communication, which is language. Another language that we can't read or understand is also said to be semantic noise. However, I think that this also encompasses nonverbal cues. Like we talked about in class, how the thumbs up symbol is really positive in America, but when we go overseas, it might mean something totally different, and you could be saying, F you to somebody. So this is really different here, and basically that's an example of semantic noise. So for this, I use three main sources, which is the eHow, Whisk Online, and I use Google search to help me find the definition of physiological noise.